sum up 2022, this speaks for all of us, was learning. We learned a lot in 2022.
So the plan for 2023 would be first quarter, Eli dropping his body.
Eli. Main focus right now is just to get it jumping.
Most likely be the talk of the town.
So that nigga, when I get lit, bro, I'm taking him with me, bro. I swear to God, bro.
I'm here at the Aqua Lounge. We about to talk about my new album, Scorpio.
You kill me? Why is that even on your brain? Why is that on your cranium? I personally think the nicest nigga to never get a ring is AI.
The thing that was fucked up with that was like here and here didn't hurt.
Yeah.
It was right when he got to my Adam's apple. So the whole time he was just like, yo, you only got like 5 minutes. I'm like, you said 5 minutes like 10 hours ago, bro. Like, come on. Like, what the fuck?
What's going on? Yeah.
Crazy. That's
Crazy. Welcome to the Aqua Lounge Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. We got a special guest in the building. He's a barsmith. You know, he's a real rapper. I'm not coming at anybody, but he's real rap. Jem Alexander.
What's up? How you doing?
What's up, my guy?
Doing good, man.
Appreciate you coming on.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. So let's start from the beginning. So I know you're from Huntington, Long Island, right? Always on Long Island, born and raised.
Yeah, always on Long Island, born and raised. I got a tattoo right on my hand, born and raised.
Right on the hand. Hell yeah.
You got the New York.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you've been rapping since 2005, right?
So like realistically, I started writing in 2002 around that, but like I started really like getting into beats and everything else like 2005, but I didn't record like my first songs around like 2006.
Okay.
And so what like really talk about like what inspired you to actually like kind of pick up the pen and start writing and shit like that?
I mean, I've been surrounded by music my whole life, so it's like, you know, but influence-wise, it's like, you know, Slick Rick, Redman, Craig Mack, Big Daddy Kane, all the old school legends. So it was like my whole thing was I wanted to be respected amongst my peers. I wanted to be a lyrical wordsmith. I didn't care about anything else. That was it. I just wanted to, every time somebody would see me, I wanted to be in the barbershop talk. I didn't want to have like the commercial bullshit, just like, yo, he can rap. Like you said it in a podcast, you're like, yo, he can rap.
Yeah.
That was the only reason I ever started really doing it, was just to be a wordsmith.
Right. So the art, so you fell in love with the art form of
right away.
You loved it.
Right away. Like when I remember the first song I ever heard was Slick Rick Children's Story.
Yep.
And I listened to that over and over and over again. And then they had the B-side where it had the instrumental. So I started just freestyling, just kept trying to do it, kept going over. It wasn't good because it was like just me first starting off, but it was that once I started actually like, okay, now I got to like actually sit down, gather my thoughts and really put it in. And what's funny is my uncle Lex Montero, who's another MC from Long Island, he was doing music his whole life. So anytime I would hear demos or anything that he did, I was just like, yo, I want to do that. Like, this is what I want to do. Right. And the thing that most people don't understand is that, like, there's a fine line between rappers and MCs. An MC can be a rapper can't be an MC. Plain and simple.
Can you
explain that?
Yeah, go into
So
that.
it's like an MC he's the master of ceremony. He knows how to move a crowd. He knows how to bring people in. He knows how to do all the tricks and everything else. A rapper is nowadays, but also back in that, they're just clout chasing. In the words of like how people would say, clout chasing. They're just doing trends. They're just trying to do what's hot right now. They don't care how lyrical they are. They don't care how their skill level is. They just want to make music that appeals to the masses. And that's not what MCs do. MCs just try to impress other MCs.
Okay. Have you, so a little bit off topic, but have you ever done like battle rap and stuff
That's
like that?
actually what's crazy was that's actually how I first started. Okay. I used to, when I was younger, when I was like 13, 14, I would run amok. Anybody I would hear that would rap, I would just be like, I don't want to battle him.
Yeah.
Anybody, didn't matter, Smithtown, Babylon, didn't matter where the fuck you were, I would go there and try to battle you. But the thing was, I didn't, like nowadays people write down their raps and then they memorize and they go at it. I just did it straight from there, from head to toe, because that's how you had to do it.
Yeah.
Because you can't, because the thing with that is that it's freestyling, but it's now what they're trying to do is like it's organized freestyle.
It's like,
and it's not it like, and for me it's like I'm not like that. I can't do that. If I'm gonna battle somebody, I don't want to know who they are until I meet them.
Right.
So that way it's authentic. It's like, oh shit, he just came with that right on the spot, and that's just gonna blow your mind right then and there. And I've never been afraid to battle anybody. Didn't matter what your credit was. Didn't matter how good you were. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah. And I feel like that's I mean, it's the creativeness, like you're saying. You don't know what you're gonna say until you see the person and you're right. You listen to the beat. Or do they even have beats? Not
I mean,
really, right?
it depends. Like sometimes we would get beats, but like, you know, normally like this is the thing. Like I don't mind if it's on beat, but if it's not on beat, you kind of can take your time and you really can hear the punchlines. I kind of look at it, it's just like mixed martial arts. Once you get in that ring, like, you do know who you're going to fight, but you don't know what skill level they are. You don't know what they're good at. You don't know anything unless you watch the previous fight. So you're going in there just with your head. Right. It's the same thing. You're battling the person up to down. You're lyrically destroying them. Some people, unfortunately, is that when you do that, they get so humiliated that they don't want to start fighting you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I've had occasions where it's like, I remember I had this one battle, was in Babylon. I was 15. I was battling somebody who was 18 years old. 18. I'm just like kind of fresh into it, not really, but I could battle. And then I guess I got his feelings hurt and he tried to swing at me. And the next thing I know, everybody's leaving the venue. Everybody's fucking going crazy. I'm like, yo, like, what did I do wrong? I thought this was like, I'm doing this. We're going to be cool after. But again, when someone's pride gets hurt, they just want to go after you because you fucked them over.
Yeah. I feel like you got to know what you're getting into.
But you never do, though.
Yeah.
Like, do you really know what you're getting into? It's like beef. You don't really know what you're getting into.
Yeah, that's
really
true.
It's sink or swim.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
That's a fact. Brother. That's a fact. All right, so once you started, like, getting into rapping and all that, was there, like, what was the feeling? Like, were you, because this is something that you wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
And then when you started doing it, were you just super excited, motivated, ready to go? Or was there any, like, doubts at all, like self-doubts or?
I mean, there's always doubt because, like, when you first start off, like, you have to take constructive criticism. And, like, as you get older, you realize, like, what that really is. You can't take it to the heart. But, like, being an artist is kind of like being a superhero because you're developing yourself into this person that you're trying to impress people. It's like from your looks to your voice to your cadence to your lyricism, all of that. So I'm a big comic nerd. Like, I always read comics when I was a kid. So I was just like, being an artist is kind of like being a superhero. You have this ability that not a lot of people have. Like, that's where I go back to me, where it's like, kids nowadays is that they don't care how lyrical they are. They're just going to do whatever the fuck is good right now. They don't care about being wordsmiths.
They're just chasing it.
And there's only so many people you can actually put as wordsmiths. Like, if you look at like Royce da 5'9", Joe Budden, Craig Mack, they're all MCs, lyrical wordsmiths. Then you got dudes like Lil Yachty and Lil Xan where they're just mumbling on the songs because they're just doing off a feeling. They don't give a fuck. And
it's not thought out.
Yeah, but that's not why I got in the game. Like, rap is what you do. Rap is what we do. Hip hop is what we live. That's the quote I've always had my entire life.
Okay.
Really, that's a great quote,
right?
Yeah. That's like a really fucking good quote. I haven't heard that one.
What if like the Yachty and all that shit? What if they separated themselves, not calling themselves rap? Would that be?
I mean, well, you can't because it is. See, the thing is that you have to evolve. So it's like I'm not mad at the fact that rap has evolved into what it is because, like, it's gonna happen. It's the same way like back in the 80s when the 90s came around. The old heads were mad at the next generation and the generation after. And the right. It's just an ongoing cycle. Like I respect new age artists now today. Like I fucked with Juice WRLD heavy. And a lot of people were just like, you like that emo rap shit? I'm like, you got to listen to what he's saying. Yeah. That kid rapped for an hour on Tim Westwood. Yeah, he did, I don't know anybody else who raps for a fucking hour.
Yeah, that's
like,
that was nuts.
That's where I was like, okay, I respect this kid. Then it's like, like Uzi Vert, like I remember when I heard him on the remix of Lucid Dreams, I was like, okay, like, he's not rapping, he's singing. And that's also another thing people get fucked up too, is that there's a difference between a singer and a rapper. Right. Like, and I hate when certain people are just like, oh yeah, I'm a rapper. And then I'll hear their music, I'm like, no, you're a singer. Yeah. And they'll fight with me on that. It's like, bro, just take it as it is. Like, you're not a rapper. Don't even fucking tell me that.
Yeah. It's just not it.
Yeah, I can kind of see it's the nowadays music is like singing.
Right.
Yeah, it's really. But like like you said, you're not mad at some of these guys, but when you like it's the beat selection too, you know what I mean?
Right.
But when you see some of these older guys come on these new beats and still rip the shit up, it's like, come on, guys.
Right, but that's the separation between the MC and a rapper. Is that an MC? Like I did a joint a minute ago where it was like a Juice WRLD kind of thing, and it was like I was still lyrical on it. Yeah. I was like, I don't have to change my lyrical ability. I just got to adapt to the beat and the tempo. That's all it is. Yeah. So I'm not mad at it. Like, what was it? Jack Harlow's what the hell was it? First Class. I love that beat.
Yeah.
I love that beat. Yeah. Now I've recorded on it before. It's like there's certain beats that I will fuck with, and then some people like they try to put me in a box. Oh, he's a boom bap artist. It's like. Like, yeah, I get that. I get why you say that because that's like the norm to say like the style of it. But it's like, bro, I'm universal. Like, I'm untouchable. And like, that's the whole difference between a lot of these artists. They just make trash ass music and they just want to impress their friends. They're not trying to impress anybody else.
Yeah, it's like because we see it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like we do. Like, so let me take it back a little bit. Like, your first studio session. Do you remember? Like, do you remember it?
My first studio session, that was terrible.
So what would explain
It was
why?
that, so the thing was that, so I learned basically was that when you get into a studio, you're not supposed to write your raps right then and there. Yeah, you're not. And that's the way, I don't know how it is with certain people, but that's how I was raised. It was like, you got to prepare yourself because that's time, that's money. Like, you're going to be sitting in a studio writing like 2-3 verses in 3 hours. You're wasting your time. Like, just practice it. There's nothing wrong with practicing it and getting it on point, because I've had this happen countless amount of times where I would record and I'd be like, damn, I could have changed this bar. I could have did this. I could have switched up the flow a little bit more. You end up hating it after a while. So it's like, after that, I was just like, all right, I'm going to write everything down. I'm going to practice it. I got studio session on Thursday. So I'll go from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and by Thursday, boom, boom, I can just bang it all out, sit there and mix. Because my favorite part of it is the mixing part. It's it's actually, because I'm so strategic with everything. It's like, if I'm not on that, then I kind of feel like, all right, you're just recording my vocals. I'm not really doing much of anything else. I'm very into the art form of it.
Right. So so you got there and you started to write. You didn't understand.
I got there. I wrote out my 2 verses. I recorded it. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best of my ability. And even the engineer, he's like, listen, like, you have something here, but I think you should come more prepared. And I didn't take it any wrong way. I was just like, okay, this is a lesson. This is teaching. That's also another thing that people don't do. Like, you got to give credit to the people before you. Like, don't take it wrong when somebody who's been in this longer is giving you advice. Like, don't think that, okay, like, they're attacking me because they're attacking my art. It's like, yo, fuck you, dickhead. Like, just listen to what the guy's telling you and take it for what it is. It's that simple. It's teaching.
Yeah. I feel like the majority of the people that are going to say something to you, like, in, like, a negative way, you can tell. You know what I mean? Like, most of these people are going to give you criticism in a good, like, for learning purposes, like you're saying. It's not to be a dick.
Yeah. It's not like I'm going in your face being like, yo, your rap sucks. Like, it's like, I'm not doing that. It's like, yo, I think it could be better. Just come back and do it a little bit better.
It's potential. Like, if anything, it's, you know what I'm saying? He's taking the time to let you know that for a good reason.
Exactly.
So was it the engineer that told you, like, yo, you got to
So it was an engineer, and it was actually my best friend Sal, who he passed away in 2012. Today, it's 12 years today.
Rest in peace.
So so he was, what was crazy was he was the first person that told me that I had talent. And, like, I would fuck around. I was chasing girls, you know, doing drugs. I would still rap. I'd still make music, but it was like I was more content with being fucked up and, like, enjoying the lifestyle of it rather than actually making the music a lot of times. So he was just like, yo, like, you gotta sit down. You gotta start learning. You gotta start doing this. And he would push me and push me and push me. And then once he finally wasn't around, I was just like, shit, I have, like, my best friend's gone. Like, I have nobody to really sit here and talk with about this. So I guess it's just in my head, it just snapped me into a realm where I'm just like, all right, dickhead, start taking yourself seriously. Start actually putting in the work, because if you don't do this, then you're just going to look bad. Like, it's going to feel like he literally did all this for you for nothing. He was the first person that would always take my tapes and give it out to people. He was always the first person that would be like, yo, you need to listen to my brother. He's dope, like this, that, the third. Anytime I had a battle, I wouldn't even set it up. He'd do it for me. Like, oh, you think you can rap? All right, let me call my brother real quick. Call me up. I'd hop on the next train, go to the town over.
Oh.
This is how it was.
Yeah, because it's like, again, you got to be hungry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and I actually, so has there ever been, talking about battle rapping, has there ever been a time where you were like, yo, like this, he got me? Like, does it happen?
Yeah.
Is that, like, part of it?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I've never taken an L before, because, again, that's how you learn. Like, me personally, if you beat me, I'm going to give you props, because I'll be like, yo, I didn't even expect that last bar, because, again, it's you're respecting the craft of it. And the fact that I'm going against this guy, and this guy literally is taking me seriously, it's like, I got to give respect. It's the same thing I said before. It's the same thing with fighting, same thing with sports. When you see somebody who's like, who's the Asian kid who beat LeBron? What was his name again? I'm trying to remember. But I remember he beat was it LeBron? Yeah, it was LeBron. Yeah, it was LeBron James in his prime, I think. LeBron James, or it was Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. Yeah, he beat him in his prime at the Garden. And he actually gave him his props. He was just like, dude, like, you beat me in my prime. That's where you give respect where respect's due. And a lot of people nowadays, they don't want to do it because they want to be the best. But that comes with the artist's ego. You have to think you're the best, because if you don't think that you're the best, then who else is going to think that? Who's going to take you seriously if you don't take yourself seriously?
So it's almost like a balance.
Right. Yeah. You have to have that confidence in yourself. You can't, like, you're going to walk in somewhere and be like, damn, like, I'm not that good. Yeah, I'm not that good, man. I don't think I can fuck with this. Nah, you need to go in with an animal mentality. And the thing that separates, Long Island artists from anybody else is that we're all animals. The thing is that we don't all unite with each other because we're always in competition with each other, but we respect it. That's the best part about it.
So do you like the Long Island rap community? Like, is it something that you're like? I don't know. Like, you see where I'm getting at this. Like,
see it going in the right direction?
Yeah, do you see it going in the right direction from your perspective?
I've seen countless things like being done. Like, I've seen the movement Long Island versus everybody when Detroit did the whole Detroit versus everybody thing. Like, everybody's starving, but nobody can really come together. Cause you got to understand something with that too, is that when you put a whole bunch of competitive people in one room, it's going to get nasty. Everybody's, because you're trying to outdo each other. That's the whole point. It's the same thing in studio sessions. Like, sometimes with me and my homeboys when we're recording, we like to do what we call, that was a real asshole verse. That you're giving props to that person. You're like, damn, I got to rewrite this shit. I got to come better. Yeah. But that's the whole point. You're competitive because you want to big everybody up.
Right.
And if you don't do it that way, don't ever be a yes man. Oh, yeah, that verse was dope. Nah, fuck that. I will literally sit there and be like, you could do better. Yeah. Plain and simple. And it's not me being a dick. It's me being like, yo, I see your potential. You can do better. So it's why would you not want to? I understand, some people don't want to unite and be that way because, again, it's everybody on Long Island is competitive. Right. We're wolves amongst lions. There was another thing that I heard is that, and I think it's true, is that you always see lions in a circus but never a wolf. Why is that? And a lion's supposed to be the king of the jungle, right? But a wolf is always tactical. They're always, finding different ways. And sometimes they don't even roll in packs.
Yeah. Right. It's nuts.
Right.
Yeah, it's fucking
So, what about, haters? Like, that kind of thing.
I mean, listen, it's like I've said in recent, statuses, I'm like, don't ever think I'm going to join the circus. If you diss me, all right, go ahead, get your little, views up, do all that shit, but I'm not going to come at you. If I respect you enough and I think you're competitive, then yeah, I might diss you. But if you're just somebody like a nobody, or even somebody that's got your little crew rap bullshit, I'm not even gonna bother with it. Because all you're trying to do is you're trying to hook me. Yeah. You're trying to get me to get you more popularity, more insight. Fuck that. There's no point in it.
They want you to make a comeback and then with their name and you're saying their name and all that shit in it. So it's
But I won't lie. I do tell everybody that I work with, artists, all the time. I'm like, listen, I'll be your best friend. But if you ever try to get at me lyrically, I will destroy you. Plain and simple. Yeah. I've said literally every artist that I've ever worked with, I tell them all that same shit because the thing is I ride off loyalty. I'm the type of dude that if somebody's talking shit about you and you're not there, I'm going to punch him in the face. But if you try to sneak diss me, you try anything, I will destroy. I've had it happen countless amount of times. I actually had somebody I grew up with sneak diss me. I didn't even know about it. My engineer told me because he heard about it when it was on SoundCloud. So I was like, whoa. Okay, he threw a little subliminal. Then I came out with a disc called Snuff Film. And then I did it in I think less than 20 minutes. I did the verse and then put it out, got play, and then he waved the white flag. He's like, yo, I'm done. Then he ended up doing another diss track, didn't even get any plays. I was like, bro, I told you, don't try to.
This is what's going to happen.
I come from this. You understand, I come from the battle scene. So it's I know exactly what I'm going to do. Plus, I literally study every person that I work with. Yeah. I'll know exactly, I'll know your bank code. I'll know who you're fucking. I'll know who your mama is. I'll know who your friends are. The whole night. I will use anything against you. And if you're going to get mad about it, that's your fucking problem because you got in this game. You really don't think that people are going to come for your head?
Yeah, you better believe it.
Right. But it's I just don't understand that. It's why are you going to get so hurt? You threw the fucking torch in. I just lit it with gasoline more.
Yeah, there you go. It's a fact. Don't complain.
Yeah, don't be afraid to get burnt.
Yeah.
Makes
so
sense, bro.
Is there, you probably have I couldn't imagine how much music you just have
Well, all right, so that's another thing. So what I like to do is I have something I call stacking ammo. Okay, so what it is
you have one album on your album music.
Oh, yeah, I have an album.
Yeah, just the one album.
I just have the one album.
Yeah,
so,
it's just the one.
Yeah, so the thing is so I had one label that I was on. It was Five Master Studios. So the dude that I was working with, he actually was somebody I went to high school with. This was during the whole thing. He his dad got him his LLC or whatever. I recorded a lot of music under his. But the problem is I didn't know about owning your masters. I didn't know any. I was a kid. I just loved making music. Yeah. So he took all of my music. That was at least 100 plus, music. And then I also have other records that I probably recorded 5 years ago that I haven't seen the light of day just because it's not what I want to release at this point. Because that's the thing. I don't put out music just to put out to please people. If it sounds good to me, that's all that matters to me.
Right.
And every time that I make a record, I'm like, okay, like, you know, I'm just going to sit on this because maybe, like, I'm going to listen to it in the next couple days. And, like, if it doesn't sound right, I'll go and re-record a couple things. Plus, you guys would know because you guys have a studio. Like, when you're in the studio, there's oh so much that your ear is going to take in before it starts to get, you know, saturated and watered down.
Right.
You have to give it a break.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to listen to the mix again the next day and be like, oh, shit, why didn't I hear that before? It's because you had that blasting in your ear the whole time.
It happens with beats all the time.
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Oh, forget it. With beats, I never... See, that's also another thing. I do make beats from time to time, but I do not make beats for other artists.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, like, I know what I want, and it's like, I don't want to go and make a beat for an artist, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, it's good. And then, like, 2 days later, oh, yo, can you change this? Oh, I don't really like that. I don't think I should pay you. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I'm too old to be knocking on doors and be like, yo, where's my money at?
Yeah.
It's not my thing. But I always like working with up and coming producers. I don't like working with like real big names. Now, like if like DJ Premier hit me up, I do it in 2 seconds. Or like Large Pro, like any of them. But it's like I got like my one homeboy. When you guys saw me doing the performance, that was actually it's called Out for Action. That's with my uncle Lex and my brother Strike. My boy D'Lo produced that, and he's in Rome, Italy. I've been fucking with him for like 10 years. That's the whole thing. I like making relationships with people. Like it's like the diamond in the rough. So when you bring people up, then it gives that larger audience and it gives that more of a genuine friendship rather than just going on BeatStars and just buying a random beat.
And the music will be better because of that.
Right. And it's also like most kids these days, they just type in, you know, like a Little Yachty type beat or like
beats.
this. Yeah, type beats. Now, I'm not going to lie. Some of those beats are dope. But again, like you need to find somebody who literally like nobody's really listening to, and you're gonna be that artist to bring that up, bring the catalog up.
Yeah,
that's some shit. And so you're not going on YouTube either, like getting beats. Or
No. Like I mean, like I've had occasions where it's like, you know, like I just want to practice. Like sometimes I'll do that. I'll go on YouTube and like I'll be like, all right, like let me practice this, and I'll find like a beat. I'll just download it with the tags on. I'll just write to it just to practice. Because that's my whole thing too. Is that like I always had this thing, and actually J. Cole was the first person that I heard do this. Is that he would wake up every morning and write a verse. Every morning, write a verse, and then every day he came back, write another verse. You got to keep going with it because that's the thing. You're never gonna reach that master technique, you know, for years, because that's how it works. Like, you don't get good at your job in a matter of a couple days. It takes years. Same thing with a painting. You're going to rush a painting? No, you're going to take your time with it. You want to make, you know, delicious food, you're going to take your time with it. You're going to get the recipe. You're going to get all that into it. So when people just rush in through records, it's like, yo, what's the point? Like, why? You're just doing this now for the money. You're not doing this for, you know, the art of it.
right.
You're just trying to get a quick money grab.
Yeah. We were just talking about like that 10,000 hour thing.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And like, if you want to talk about, because you
we just broke it down to like kind of like simple math and like how long it would take if you put like 10 hours a week versus 20 hours a week, and it's like 10 hours a week is like
take you 20
years.
Right, but see, the thing is that like everybody's got jobs, everybody's like got so. But the one thing I always tell people is like, even if you got 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, dedicate yourself to that craft for an hour, because if you don't do it, then you're not taking it seriously. It's
whatever
the same,
you can.
It's the same thing like, you know, when kids, when they would do sports, like they're doing it because they love it. They're not doing it because they're like, oh, I can get a scholarship, I can do this. No, they're just doing it because they genuinely enjoy it at first. Then it leads to opportunities.
Right.
That's why, like, when you do the 10,000 hours, it's like, why do 10,000? Do 20,000. Now, fuck 20. Do 20,000. Do 30,000. Always try to go above and beyond.
Well said. Hell yeah.
Now, because I know, like you said, your boy, you know, he was like the first one to say like, yo, you really got this shit, like, you know. So was there a point where you started seeing people like come to you and like, oh shit, like you can do this, or, you know?
I mean, like, so when I first started, like, I ain't even gonna front. Like, the first time I started, like, you know, a lot of people were just like, oh, yeah, like, whatever. Because I literally, like, so I went to Northport High School. And I was literally the only rapper. Sorry, not even rapper. I was the only MC in that school. Literally the only MC. There was one guy that I actually was friends with. He was a little older than me. He went by Judge Cryptic. He graduated, and then I was literally the only one. I would get fucking picked on all the time for it. It was like, oh, you know, you're rapping, you're doing this, blah, blah, blah. I had one time, I was in middle school when I wrote some shit down. I had a lyric book full. Somebody stole it. And then at a random, I got brought to the principal's office. Somebody had found it, gave it to the principal. They're reading all this. It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? He's talking about this. He's talking about, like, you okay? Like, is everything going on? I'm like, yeah, why? And he rips out the lyric book. I'm like, oh, it's a lyric book. He's like, but what is it? I'm like, it's my lyrics. It's rap. He's like, you're rapping? I'm like, yeah. He's like, why? I'm like, what do you mean why? Like that. That's when I started really seeing like ignorance with certain people. It's like if you're not a certain color or anything like that, they don't take you seriously. Like hip hop is not. It's predominantly black music. Like don't get me wrong, but hip hop doesn't have a face. It's a lifestyle. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, or orange. If you're lyrically dope, you're dope. That's why I respect the shit out of Rakim, because he was one of the first people to say, I don't give a fuck if Eminem's white or not. He's dope artist. Yeah. That's all that should matter. Yeah. But the people that I grew around was like, they were the rich kids, because like again, like over here, like there's a lot of rich kids, and like if you were anything less than that, then you were looked at as different. I didn't have money when I was growing up, not at all. My mother would work 2 to 3 jobs just to support us, and we would move countless times, but always stayed in the school district. So any time that I would always get shit for was because I was a biracial child doing hip hop music. Then once I started getting into high school, then it was like, oh shit, now I'm starting to get, noticed by females. I'm starting to get, like noticed by these people. And then I was always the outcast because the jocks and everybody hated me because I was hanging out with girls they wanted to hang out with. I was literally, you could ask anybody, I was always surrounded by women. I was raised by a woman. I was always surrounded by women because I looked at them and respected them. I didn't look at them as objects, but they loved that I made music. They were just like, it's your talent. And actually what was crazy was one of my homegirls, she actually gave me the nickname Gem, because she said, you're not going to find somebody like him. He's 1 in 7 billion. That's why I always go off on that. I'm 1 in 7 billion. You're not going to find nobody like me. And also my legal first name is Alexander. So I just put Gem Alexander. Just worked with it.
Yeah. It's perfect.
No,
right. It rolls off the tongue perfectly.
Because your name holds a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. And like I know, like I've heard from certain people, it's like, you generally pick a name and like you end up liking it in the beginning and later on you just hate it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, and I hate when you get that like person that comes to a show and it's just like, yo, Alex, can you sign this? It's like, you got my CD in the G section. Yeah. Like, that separates the artist and the fan. It's like, you don't, see me going up to Eminem and be like, yo, what's up, Marshall? Yeah, like, it's like, you got to have that respect for it.
Right.
But like, and I try to tell certain artists that are even coming up too, it's like, really like, write down all different names and then pick which one describes you the best. And then roll with that. Is this unique? Is this going to stand out? Are people like, when they hear it, it's going to sound familiar? Like, that's what you always generally want to go for. Always keep that clip full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's some good advice right there.
Really good advice. Mm-hmm. Take that shit and run with
it. So last question about like kind of like your early days and stuff like that. Your first like performance, like do you remember that?
First performance. I mean, I can't remember. See, I did a lot of drugs when I was young. I didn't even go front. So it's like the first performance. I mean, I vaguely remember it, but it was mainly like just freestyling. Yeah. I remember I believe I was 15. I was at some bar that I wasn't even supposed to be at. I had no business being there, but they had like, these little open mics, and like I would see like kids doing, like not kids, but grown adults, like, doing whatever. And my cousin actually worked as a security guard, so she got me in. So then I'm just up there performing, like doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm saying foul shit out of my mouth. Just a whole bunch of stuff that a 15-year-old should not be talking about. But it was like, I had people who were just like, yo, we like your voice, you got potential. And I know I'm probably biased, but like I don't like my voice, period. I really don't. Like even when I listen back to it on tracks, even when people tell me, yo, your voice is dope, I don't see it like that because I'm so, constructively criticizing myself all the time that I could do better. But yeah, my first performance, I mean, I did dope, I would believe, because I just kept rapping. I just kept going at it. I didn't stop. I didn't have a hook. I didn't have shit. I just went in on it because I'm just like, all right, I'll just keep going. And I think the DJ actually told me to stop because he's just like, yo, like, all right, like, if you're good, you're fine. I didn't rap for an hour, but he was just like, all right, like, little man, you good. Just get off stage. Come on.
But in general, though, performing, is this something that you like doing?
The thing is, I love performing, but it's the way that I do it is a hell of a lot different. So, like, when I do generally perform, like I've studied like, Rakim, Craig G, a lot of like the old school artists, and I always wear a hoodie or a jacket when I'm performing because when I'm moving around, I'm giving you that vision that I'm moving faster than I really am. So when I'm taking off my sweatshirt, it's like you're peeling the layers off. Now they're seeing me like sweat, they're seeing me like get into my steez, like, and it's just, the crowd is just like, holy shit, like he's really like giving that full potential. So it's like, but I'm also not that guy that's gonna sit in the, you know, VIP and like chill out. Like I'm gonna chill and like, you know, look at, okay, if somebody's like standing here and they're seeing me on stage, where should I go over here? Oh, let me check the sound check guy, make sure he's got everything on par, make sure they got my set list. Like I'm always running around, because if you're coming to see me and you're paying your hard-earned money to see me, I'm giving you a show.
Making sure everything is
I'm not there. Yeah. I'm not there, you know, to pop bottles and you know, fuck hoes in the back and all that. I like, actually, like, my fans are dedicated enough to pay to see me, so I'm gonna give you a performance. Be like, yo, I went and saw Jem last night. That dude went crazy. This, that, the third. And that was also the other thing. Anytime I've done performances, everybody always gives me credit. It's just like, yo, your set list was crazy. This, that, the third. It's because I studied it my whole life. I watched all these guys before me, and I was like, all right, so he did it like this. How can I can give that effect, but in my own way.
Right. Yeah, with your twist on it.
Right. That's your teachers.
Yeah. Inspiration. Yeah.
That's some shit, bro. So you want to ask?
Yeah. So like, let's take it a little bit like forward now, like so like current day, like when you're working on a piece of music, what is your creative process like? Are you a writer? I mean, you're a writer at heart, like obviously. But what is the main? You know?
So
like you find the beat first or write first and then match the shit?
So it's kind of like the way that I usually do it is like, I'll find the beat first necessarily, but like what's really even crazier is that like, so when I'm trying to do like a body of work, I'll make the cover first, because the cover will inspire me to give the vibe that I'm trying to go for. That's the art. That's the artist side of me, because like I've been drawing my whole life. I started drawing when I was like 4 years old. So it was like I always loved, like once I got into Photoshop, I loved putting things together. So like I'll put a cover together, then I'm like, okay, I got the cover. Now what kind of vibe am I trying to give it? Then I'll start going through beats. Once I get the full amount of beats that I want, whether it's an album or an EP, I'm like, okay, I'll listen to all of it. Then I'll put it in track order. Then I'll come up with the title, and then I organize it. I'll write it on my page. I'll be like, okay, what do I want to talk about here? Okay, I want to talk about, this is a smoking song. I want to talk about smoking weed. I want to talk about rolling a blunt at the bus station. I want to do it. So I strategically put it all down. Then I start writing. It's like the skeletal structure before I put the skin on.
I've never heard of that. That's fucking lit.
I mean, some people think I'm crazy for doing it,
no,
but
that's
it's like,
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it keeps you interested. Yeah. It's not like you're gonna sit there and write and be like, all right, I'll just get to it tomorrow. You're gonna keep wanting to do it. You have that adrenaline. You have that rush. And also, like, some people nowadays, they don't even put time into putting the covers in on the album. Like, I'll see dope ass artists, like even the new age artists, like Pop Smoke. I think he's still dope, even though that he's gone. But the last album that he had, when it was just a Black Rose, I was like, that doesn't justify this album. Yeah. That doesn't give the listener like really the.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Because like back in the day, like when you would, I don't know how old you guys are. How old are you?
26.
Okay, you're 20. Damn, I'm 33. So back in the day, it's like when you got the CD, it would come with a booklet and would have all the artwork, the track list, who produced it, who mixed it, the lyrics, sometimes a whole nine. But as you're going through that, you're listening to the songs. So it's giving you and it's bringing you into that creative space of what the artist was doing at that time. Yeah. Now it's just all digital. Now it's just, okay, you got the cover art. You got, that's it. Sometimes you don't even get a track list.
Yeah, true.
So that's why it's like every time, like I'm dedicating myself to a project, even a single. Like if I'm doing like just a single, I'll do the single artwork first too. And then also I always, before it's even mixed and mastered, I'll go into my program and I'll make like, the cover for it for YouTube and all that. I'll do all that ahead of time and I'll write down. I swear I got it in my phone. I would show you right now if I could, but I have it in my phone where I'll write down title, who mixed it, the whole nine. So once it's time for release, I was already 3 steps ahead of that. Yeah. I don't have to worry about that. I set it to a time, boom, it's already done. That's now I just need the listeners.
That's another piece of advice, like, because a lot of artists like keep it last minute shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and even just based off what you were saying, like, I'm thinking of it like if I was gonna make like a beat tape, strictly beat tape, I kind of want to do it that way. Like, find the visual and then motivate me to create the beats off of that visual.
Even when you're doing beats, like that's the whole thing. Beat makers don't get the credit they deserve, and it sometimes pisses me off. I even tell D-Lo this a lot of times. I'm like, yo, you're so incredible. Like, he does not show his face. His thing is that he doesn't want to show his face because he's like, I just want people to be in tune with the music. I don't want them to look at me and be like, oh, this is how. But again, beat makers don't get it because you're putting in timeless amounts of hours. And sometimes even, same thing with rap. You'll make a beat and you'll be working off like 10 hours. I'm going to scrap this because I wasn't like, but if you're making a beat tape and you have the cover for it, you already have the vision of how you want it to feel.
Yeah.
So you're gonna keep going.
Keeping you
with
in the
it.
realm of that.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just like a drug addiction, pretty much. It's like once you get that first hit, you just want to keep going with it.
Dude, that's some crazy shit. That's
very, very interesting.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard. That's a really, really cool
I like
process,
that
dude.
shit though. That's
Probably I mean, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, I think I'm
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, once you do it that way, it'll all make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And you'll just keep getting in tune with it.
Yeah. All right, so you just dropped the album From Nothing to Something.
Yep.
So talk about that a little bit. Like, what was like the inspiration? I mean, like, how long did it take you to do?
So that album was actually 2 years of me making it. And the only reason was because the title From Nothing to Something meant a lot to me. If you look at the cover, on the one side, it's me at 14, and then the other side, it's me now. So what I have a process with is like when I'm doing an album, I have literally a poster board list of all the artists I want to work with. And every time I'll be like, okay, today I'm going to get in contact with this one's manager. I'm going to see like how I can make this happen. And then if I don't make that happen, it's like, okay, obviously this isn't my time. I got to move on to the next one. That's how I tackled that whole album. So the process of that, I was like, I want to make an album that is timeless. I don't want people to listen to this and then just throw it in the trash. Because that's not what putting an album is. Like you want people to keep listening to it, and that's like one of the things that I was talking about in a long interview before. There's a difference between fast food music and real hip hop. Fast food music, it's disposable. Master A said it the best. It's disposable art. When you have that whole food, it's like Thanksgiving dinner. You eat it, you're so comfortable, you're full, you want to take a nap, you feel good, you want to smoke a blunt. That's the kind of music you want to make. You don't want it disposable. So I actually got a lot of like great reviews on it, but I also had a lot of people hating on it.
Really?
And the reason why people were hating on it is because certain people were like, oh, you know, he's got these features, but this, that, the third, he's not doing it this way. Well, it's like, but why do I have to cater to you? No, I actually had an artist that I never even like knew of or heard of. He was like, yo, I hit you up like 3 years ago, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to work with you. How come you didn't put me on the album? Dickhead, I don't know who the fuck you are. Yeah. Why would I put you on my album?
I don't know you.
And right. And second off, it doesn't fit it. Like, that's also the other thing. It's like some people will get mad if you don't put them on your project. Some people, not everybody. But some people will get mad because they're like, it's the exposure. Yeah. Like I got Sticky Fingaz on there. I have self-titled from the Demigods. I got Cage. I actually just got the Weatherman logo tatted on me like 2 weeks ago. So the other thing that I was doing too is like anybody who I idolize that I've worked with so far, I get their group, or I get the logo tattooed on because it's like a badge of honor. It tells a further story.
It does.
And once again, if you got in this game to make money, then fuck out of here. If you got in this game because you generally want to be respected and you want to work with the people that you idolize, then this is for you. That's why when I put the album together, it took so long because I was always trying to revamp, do different ideas, the whole nine. And actually, when I did the cover 3 times. Because the first cover that I was going to do was actually me sitting, and I was going to have from when I was 14 all the way till I turned 18 in the background of it. Then I was like, that's too much. It might not catch somebody's eye. I need something like really in depth. And then when you look at that cover, you're just like, oh shit. First thing you notice is the background. Then you notice like, oh, the one side of me is like really young. The other side of me is like, I'm a little bit older. You see my blue eyes, like the whole nine. But then when you go on the back of it, you see the track list. And the other thing that I do that not a lot of artists do, I put the QR code in the back of it. So when you scan it, it brings you to everything upon my social media platforms.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Because if you can hustle drugs, you can hustle music. It's the same thing. Treat your music as an addiction in a good way. Hip Hop RX with self-titled. When I got that beat, I was actually done by Verbal. I sat there. I remember I was in my father's house. I was laying on the floor, and I had all these albums in front of me, all albums that I listened to from Craig Mack, self-titled, everybody. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, hold up. And I was a little bit high, but I was like, what if I start talking about, instead of my pill addictions, why don't I use these CDs as my addiction and throw them in the raps? That's like when I put it in the rhyme. When I like water for chocolate, I go to M&M's. My problem is chronic. Every day I'm raising hell again. I was just giving it to you like, okay, all these albums is what I'm addicted to. This is what get right. So it's like, even again, it's like, just look for the inspiration. If the inspiration's not there right now, just put it to the side. Be like, all right, I'm going to work on something else, and I'll come back to this. It's the same thing with any time that I also write music. Like sometimes you'll get a rap in your head, you'll get a couple lines, And like you try to remember, and sometimes you fuck it up.
Yeah.
I'm always in notes, just writing
Making sure
like
you get it
little
down.
bits. Whether I get to it now or 6 months from now, I know it's still there.
At least it's there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's big. So, and you got a lot of features on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the big one too, Benny the Butcher.
So I got Benny. I got I got Benny, Sticky Fingers. I got Cage. I got self-titled. Originally, what was crazy was I wanted to do Conway. Conway the Machine was really what, but yeah, see that's another thing I'm manifesting. So I will get Conway at some point. Another person that I really wanted to get for that album, but I know that I'm going to get for the next album is Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks is top 5. Always been my top 5. I've met him twice. Actually, it was crazy. So I ran into him at Orlando Airport last year, and he was with his family, so I didn't notice at first, but I saw this kid running by me, and I was just like, why does this kid look familiar? And this is when he just came out with The Course of the Inevitable, first one. And I was like, wait, that's his daughter. And then like I look over, and I see his tattoo. It says Lazy Lloyd. I go to my boy, I'm like, yo. He's like, what? I'm like, yo, that's Lloyd Banks. He's like, how the fuck do you know that? I'm like, look on Google. Look at his tattoos. He looks back. He's like, yo, good eye, bro. So instead of, fanboying, doing that whole shit, I respect him. So I hit him up on Instagram. I was like, yo, I saw you in Orlando Airport. I didn't want to make a scene because I didn't want people like, trying to get up to you, this, that, the third. 8 hours later, he hits me back. He was like, yo, good looks. Next time you see me, holla at me.
That's fine.
Next time I saw him was at Target. Saw him. I didn't. Target right in Huntington. What? Yeah, he lives on Long Island, believe it or not. Shit. So when he came by, but that was also the other thing. That was not, when I saw him, that was not time for me to talk to him. I just saw him, say, yo, what up? Gave him a pound, boom. Actually, I was with Big Soup. It was me, Big Soup, and my cousin. Yeah. And my cousin was going nuts. Yo, that was Lloyd Banks. But I'm like, yo, he's not trying to talk to us. He just went to Target. He's probably getting some for his family. Leave him the fuck alone. Like, it's whatever. But, yeah, that was also another person that I've been trying to get. That's why I tell people also, it's like manifesting. Yep. I'm very big into manifesting. So if you tell yourself, like, even beyond telling yourself, write it down. Write it down on a poster. Put it on your door that you're walking out of. Because when you look at that, it's going to trick your brain into being like, I'm going to make this happen. But you got to take, obviously, you have to take the necessary steps to actually do it. Right. And most people will just be like I remember I had one person hating on me because I pay for a feature. It's like, bro, you got to understand something. I had literally somebody pissed off me. I will not name names because, I'm not going to give them any clout or anything like that. But they were pissed off me that I paid for a feature. They were like, why would you pay for that? Blah, blah, blah. You're not dope. You're not this. I'm like, first off, like, if somebody comes to me and I don't know who the fuck they are, they got to pay me. Like, my charge, I'll tell everybody, my charge is $1,000. It's a stack right then and there. But once you pay that stack, now I developed a relationship with you. Now, maybe the next time I'm not going to want you to pay me. Maybe I'm just like, yo, let's do something else. I like how you work. But at the end of the day, it's a business. I'm taking my time out to give you a piece of my art. So why is paying for a feature wrong in this day and age? Everybody, because all artists have this ego. They're just like, I don't have to pay for shit because I'm dope. You're not that dope then if you're not taking it seriously. That's like if somebody goes up to you like, yo, I like that beat. Let me get it for free.
Bro, every day.
Right? And how annoying does that get? Like, yo, I don't do this to, do this for fun. I do this because this is also my passion, but this is also my business. Yeah. I'm not going to give you a free beat. Now, if you want, a beat pack and you can pick through those, then it's like we can talk prices if you think they're dope. But Joe Schmo, you're not going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to toss you that free beat. It took you like, what, fucking 2-3 weeks to come up with that shit? Yeah. Come on. Yeah. That's why I get so mad at certain artists. Like, I had literally somebody get mad at me over the Benny the Butcher shit. Yeah, obviously I paid for it. Like, what do you think? I just got it for free? Oh, yeah, you're dope. I'm just going to give you a verse. Nah, bro, that's not how that works.
Never, ever has it worked.
No, but that's why I get so mad at that. I'm just like, why are you getting mad at me for fucking paying for something?
I mean, that's just investing in yourself.
Exactly.
As well, like you're fucking
right. And like it was the same thing with Self. So self-titled, I don't really know if you know what Self is. So self-titled, it's like Apathy of the Demigods. Actually, if you look at, you ever heard of Styles Beyond? Yeah. Okay, so Styles Beyond, Fort Minor. Yeah. Okay, so that's Styles Beyond, Fort Minor. That's all them. So Self, I've idolized Self my whole life. So I hit him up and he was like, yo, I like the beat. I sent him, the funds, paid for it. Had that verse back in like a week. Then after it was done, he was like, he really liked it. He was just like, yo, do you mind if I put this, because me and Apathy are going on tour. I want to put this on the Tour Lord CD. Put more fans onto you, have more people like, really, take you more seriously as an artist because I fuck with you. I was like, yo, you want my song like that's for my album on your toilet? Hell yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want with it. And it fucking blew up.
Yeah,
I all of a sudden I got fans from fucking Florida. My best friend Beefland, he was with him and his girlfriend at the time. They were sitting at a bar, and all of a sudden one of the guys was just like, oh, yo, so like, what do you listen to? This, that, the third. He's like, oh, I'm just listening, Jem Alexander. He's like, you know him? He was like, yeah. He's like, why? He's like, yo, that's my best friend. The other dude's like, no fucking way. Showing pictures
crazy.
with me and all that. He's like, yo, I
That's
just
fucking
heard the self thing. But that's what I'm saying is that you're not paying for really like, the just the art form. You're paying for the exposure and the friendship.
Right.
Because now self, I could just hit him up and he's just like, yeah, like, all right, let's do a record. Let's do this. Easy as that.
So self was with Fort Minor.
So self, if you remember, there was one song that they had. It was with Joel Santana, and it was I'm trying to remember the name of the song. That's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, Styles of Beyond was Ryu of the Demigods. Self would make appearances. Apathy. A lot of people, Blackistan, like all these guys, like they've all been on major tours. There's one actually picture that I was laughing at that I saw Ryu from the Demigods. He was with Jay-Z, just chilling, just straight chilling. And like Mike Shinoda, which is even crazier, I had the chance to talk to him when he did a show at the Garden like a while ago. And I told him, I was just like, yo, I'm a big fan like this. And he's a mad humble guy. But the thing that he put me onto was he made a beat just off of things that were in front of him. Shred of paper, a pot and pan, and literally he was like, all right, this is how we bring it in, dun, 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 dun. And he's like, now we just bring in the verse, and they did all of it right then and there. I'm like, that's an artist.
That's a different level of artistry.
Yeah, that's alien shit.
Yeah, that's exactly the word for it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a fact. I had another question. Shit.
Go
ahead.
Did you get with the if you don't mind me asking this, and this isn't live, so we can cut this out.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
So about the Benny shit,
right?
Did you get to meet him?
No, I didn't get to meet him.
No, so he just sent the verse.
So what I ended up doing is that there was a producer that had worked with him, and he had the verse. He didn't really like it. Not Benny, the producer. Like he was like, oh, it's not really gonna work for this project. This, that, the third. So
he didn't like Benny's verse.
No, he didn't like the whole tempo of it and everything else like that, because Benny was just like, like it wasn't for Benny's project, it was just for his beat tape. So he was just like, you know what, he's like, let me just see if I can shop it and find somebody that'll actually want to use it. So I found it, I bought the rights to it, and then I ended up actually hitting up Benny and I sent it to him. I was like, yo, I don't know if this is, yours or not, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but I bought it off this producer. I'm like, this is the final project. I sent it to him, he looked at it, and then he gave me a fire emoji. Didn't really talk or anything, but he still gave me props for it. Yeah. So that was also the other thing, was that like I've had it also where somebody tried selling me a Snoop Dogg verse. And I was like, first off, how much money are we talking? Second off, did Snoop really do this? Because with AI shit, you never fucking know. Yeah. So once I heard it, the guy was like, yeah, 10 bands. I'm like, fuck you. Playing for 10 bands? Yeah, right. You think I'm going to pay 10 bands for that? First off, I don't know who else you sold this to. Second off, if you're not going to give me the contracts and the full rights to it, I'm not doing it. Yeah. That's also the other thing I learned growing up too, is that paperwork. I need everything on paper. I need signed paperwork. When I did the From Nothing to Something album, I had to get every artist to sign a paper. Really? Every artist, because the thing is that with so I don't do it through DistroKid, I do it through TuneCore. Okay. So TuneCore, what they do is once you have a certain amount of features and it's like major artists or like very well known artists, you actually have to get paperwork of them signing it saying like, yes, I approve this, and like, because anybody that I worked with, like my brother Strike, my uncle Lex, my brother Luchin, is actually my brother Luchin's birthday today, so shout out to Lou. I had to get everything signed, like Lou and all that. I didn't have to get it, but with all the major features with Sticky and everybody else, even with Cage, I had to get paperwork signed. I was like, fuck, that's how this works. I'm like, why can't I just hit them up, or like, you guys email them and be like, oh yeah, this is what. No, you have to get written signed paperwork. That's when I was like, okay, I gotta get a lawyer, I gotta get this, I gotta get that. Like,
I don't, a bunch of shit behind that.
I don't fuck around when it comes to my money.
So when did you meet your manager?
So I had a previous manager before my manager now. He was actually good, because the thing was that he was already built in the industry, but he didn't really specialize in hip hop music. He was more into like fashion, R&B, and then everything else like that. But he had connections and he saw potential in me. Now, after a while, I was like, okay, I'm like, not for nothing. I'm like, I'm not being mean or anything. I'm like, but I think we need to part ways now. I respect what you did for me, and I love you. We're still friends. I'm like, but I got to start doing my own thing. I'm like, I got to find somebody else. And now my friend Tiffany, who manages Justine Valentine, I've known her my whole life. My whole life. She would get on my ass all the time. When are you going to let me do this for you? When are you going to have me get this connection for you? When are you going to let me do that? She has so many connections in so many different parts of the industry. Like, she has connections in movies, television, all that. So I was like, you know what? Finally, I was like, you know what, Tiffany? Okay, manage me. I'm like, I trust you enough to manage me. So when you see on my Instagram, it's tagged on her as TM Management, Tiffany Management Recordings. So once I got her, it was like, I felt comfortable. So I was like, you're not going to take any money from me. Like, you're not going to fuck me over. I know you. I've known you my whole life. That's also the other thing. It's the trust. Like, I've had so many people that tried to manage me and do the right things. And honestly, if my brother Sal was still here, he would have been managing me. But because he's not here, I had to go to the next person I really trusted with my life. Like, I could leave 10 racks in front of her. I know I'm going to have every penny still. And that's the whole thing. I built myself off loyalty and respect. If I don't have loyalty and I don't have respect, I can't fuck with you.
You said that from the beginning, too. In the beginning of the interview, you
yeah,
just said it.
And it's like, you know, I've even had it to where, you know, there's certain artists I can't fuck with because they do certain things that, you know, who you associate lets you know who you're going to be in the future. And if you associate with somebody that's doing fuck shit, automatically people are going to take, you know, not word to mouth. They're going to see it and be like, oh, he fucks with him. Like, nah, like, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. I actually was just watching something on YouTube where it was like, I saw these, like, it was like 4 artists. I don't even know their names. That's how fucked they are. But they got a little bit of buzz in the underground, and they started like DMing these young girls just because they had I'm just like, huh? Like, what? Like, this is what you guys do? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, yo, like, come on. Like, this is fucked. Like, people also hate on me because, like, all right, so, like, I don't listen to XX, Tentacion, that's how you pronounce it, right? So I don't really listen to him because it doesn't feed my ear. Now, does that mean I don't like his music? No, it's like, it's just not for my ear. You know, I respect you as an artist, but I do not respect somebody that beats women. That's the main thing. I don't respect someone who beats women. I don't respect somebody that diddles with kids. I don't respect somebody that'll steal from you. None of that shit. So anytime I have anybody that's near, it's like, bro, you better keep that like far the fuck away from me, please.
The energy, you seem like an energy person as well.
I am, and that's the thing. Like, I can tell literally, I know it's gonna sound weird, I can tell 15 seconds if I'm gonna fuck with somebody or not. Because that whole thing is like your eye contact, how you treat me, how you talk to me. Because if I think of anything else, like, I'm an extremist. So when I walk into a bar, I'm looking at, okay, there's 5 dudes here. I could fuck up probably 4 of them if they try something. That's the way I've always been, though. Because I was always on my toes. I was just like, damn, like, something pops off, like, it's gonna happen. One time, I was in Huntington, and there was I don't know if you guys knew the spot Radio, if you ever knew that. So there was a bar that was called Radio. We and my boys would go there every weekend. Every weekend we get into a fight at the end of the night. Every fucking week. I'm not even joking. Every weekend. So one time, my one brother, Ty, he, like, some dude spilled a drink on him or whatever, and then the next thing I know, a bunch of dudes start getting on him. We all start going, bouncer fucking starts choking me out because I'm trying to, like, get to him, throws me out. And the one rule I always tell my boys, do not separate from the pack. If we are fighting, we all stay together. I want to be, you know, I want to make sure I see you guys. This motherfucker decides to run down the street, and he gets a fucking key stabbed in the back of his neck.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then we couldn't find him for, like, maybe a half hour, an hour. I get a call from him. All of a sudden, we find him down the road. He's got his shirts ripped, blood dripping everywhere, the whole fucking 9. I'm just like, damn, bro. Like, but that's also the other thing. Is like, I'm that dude. Like, I don't give a fuck how tired I am. You call my phone, I'm gonna pick up for you. Because I would rather call you and talk to you than attend your funeral.
Wow. That's a really good point.
That's because, but it's true, and that's like the other thing too. Is like, people don't understand is that, like, even artists, like, not a lot of artists ask each other that question. Yo, is everything good? Like, when you listen to a record, it hits you. It's like, if you really feel that, it's like, oh, damn, I really can relate to that. But you're not asking a question like, yo, are you good? Like, what's going on? It was like the Chester Bennington, the lead singer in Linkin Park. Yeah. Nobody knew how upset he was. Yeah. But he's been talking about how upset he was for like 12, 13 years. Why didn't you ask him that at that point? You don't give artists their flowers when they're here. You give it to them after they're dead. That never has made sense to me, ever.
And they always do. It's always that way. It's
and it's always the dick riders. Like, oh, yeah, I wish you were still here. R.I.P. Oh, shut the fuck up, because you didn't even care when he was here.
Exactly. So you got a new music video out, or it's coming out?
So yeah,
it's not out. It's coming.
Yeah, nah. So it's next week. We're actually shooting a video. Box Visuals, who does my music videos, he did. Box Visual. He does. He actually did my hit single, which is All I Need, I Get High. That has the Styles P scratch on the hook of it. Yeah, when I met him like 5 years ago, because my brother Strike, they actually went to school together in Lindenhurst. So when I got connected with him, it's just his energy and his vibe and everything, like it just worked. And also the thing is, like, I like to also co-direct all my stuff. Like, I swear to God, like, it doesn't matter whether it's a music video, artwork, or anything. I like to be hands-on with my stuff. So I literally sit there. Some people will just wing it when they do music videos. I plan the whole shit out.
Okay.
The whole thing. Because if I can direct something, then it's like, okay, then what else can I do? That's like with my boy Lou. He actually had me narrate his album called NA Meeting, which is out now. I narrated the whole thing. I also acted in every one of his music videos. There is a music video of me with, you ever heard of Kia Jeffries? She did the song Put It In Your Mouth.
No.
You never heard that? Right? You never heard that song? How the fuck you 20-something? You never heard that song?
I've heard it.
Maybe I've heard
it. I'll show it to you later. Yeah. But yeah, so I was with her. I met Master Ace that day. I met Craig G. I met all of them. So we had a scene where it was supposed to be like I was sniffing blow. And it was flour. I brought it with me. So he was like, yo, you don't have to actually sniff it. Just make it look like it. And I was like, in my head, I was fucked up. I'm like, you know what? I'm dedicated to this fucking shit. I'm actually going to sniff it. Worst fucking decision of my life. I sniffed the whole fucking shit. Like, you see it in a video. My eyes are going crazy, the whole nine. But yeah, it's even with that. Like, I love acting also as well. Like, I don't have to just do music. I try to venture out into everything. And I'm not afraid of talent either. If I see somebody that has talent and I have a way to help them, I'm going to help them.
Right.
Because again, like, if you're afraid of that, then you're not going to progress. You're not going to make, like, you know, friends or business partners or anything of that nature.
No.
That's a fact.
That's a good point.
Now, you said you're a graphic designer as well.
Yeah.
So I think you said you've been drawing your whole life, right?
Yeah, I started drawing at 4. I got introduced to Photoshop when I was like 14. I didn't really know how to do it though. And like back then, like when YouTube first came out, there was no tutorials on how to do it. So it's like I would literally have to, like, you know, I would write, then it was like, okay, I wanted to make like a cover. Then I had to figure out how to blend, how to, you know, mash things up, the whole nine. And then I just kept going with it because just like my brother Sal would tell me, like, you need to learn how to do all these things so you don't have to depend on anybody. I was literally thinking about being independent before independent was actually a thing. Because everybody wanted to get signed. When, like, you know, Shady Records was a big thing, G-Unit Records, Duck Down, you know, all these different, you know, companies. It was like being independent was always the way you had to be because you don't want somebody taking control of everything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be my own art graphic designer. I'm going to, you know, I write my own shit. I actually record my own shit. I do everything and anything. Now, even to this day, like, I do something where I do demo sessions and then I go to a legit studio. I'll record it at my house, listen to it, be like, okay, I have to, you know, raise this up a little bit. I have to do my ad-libs a little bit better. Then I'll go to Charlie Murata, who, you know, produces majority of my stuff, and I'll do it in the booth, get it done in 2 seconds. That way I know everything's laid, and then we just do mixing.
Yeah. That's a smart way of doing that, too. The demos and shit, And you're recording on your time, too. So it's like any emotion and shit like that, like you're kind of putting it.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, like even like there's one song that I've been working on for a minute. It's just taking me a while to do. It's called Letters to You, and it's about my boy Awful P, who had passed away from a drug overdose, my father who had passed away from a drug overdose, and then my little brother who passed away from a drug overdose. I lost all 3 of them in a span of 2 months. So my father had died from a fentanyl overdose the day before his birthday, and then one of my best friends, Awful P, he died on my father's birthday. Then not even fast forwarded, my best friend John passes away from an overdose as well. Like, yeah, I had a whole bunch of shit hit me. So that record itself, I have the beat, I have the lyrics, but every single time that I'm like getting, like, see, I'm even getting it now. Every time that I try to like get it out, I get choked up. And the thing is, like, I've recorded that demo so many times. It's like, no matter what, I'm just gonna get choked up with it. So I kind of try to trick myself into like, you know what, it's not that bad. You know, maybe you should be that way. Because if you do it that way, the listener is going to know that this is real. This is really coming from your heart and soul. And my whole thing is I never got afraid to be vulnerable either. Like if you notice, like I'm not a very emotional person, but I'm very emotional when I'm on a microphone. I do not give a flying fuck what I am talking about because it's all coming out of my mouth. It's all coming from my emotions. I had one where it was like, you know, I had I had one person who I was dating, and unfortunately she had a miscarriage. So we had lost a child. I mentioned that in the song, and it's called "Know Myself," and it's produced by D-Lo. I am so like taken back because I'm like, I don't want to release this record, and I've never had that problem before because it's so personal. And I had a song too called "Start Over," which had to deal with a relationship, and if you listen to it, you can hear in my voice how A, fucked up I am, and B, the emotions really coming out of me. It's all real. And I hate that record. Really? But everybody loves that record.
So there are records that you have that you just...
Oh, yeah. But see, that's the thing.
There's a reason.
Yeah, the records you hate the most are always the ones that everybody loves.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off, too. It's just like, damn, why do you guys like this record, but you don't like this fucking, boom bap shit or whatever you guys talk about?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like... you can't be afraid of it. So just don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Just because I'm vulnerable doesn't mean I'm not gonna punch you in your fucking teeth. But it's like I'm trying not to punch you in your teeth. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like to get angry and all that shit. But it's like, I come from the era and the realm where it's like I'm not gonna take your shit. I don't give a fuck where I am. I don't give a fuck where you're from. This is who I am. If I feel as if like you're getting into my space, you're trying to do something to me, I'm gonna hit you.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, plain and simple. Sink or swim, motherfucker.
Yeah, two options. Man.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
So
right there.
what about? Because I know you mentioned like a little earlier about like you. I don't think you did sign to a label or you didn't.
So I had one label, was Five Master Studios. I was with them from 2005 to about 2006, 2007. Then there was another record label. They call themselves Asylum Records, and they were based out in Massachusetts. So all I would have to do is record wherever I was recording and send it to them. Then I left that label. Then my homeboy made a label called Raw Shock Records, and I was on that label for like 9 years. But once again, it was like anytime I was with a label, they always tried to like make me into something that I wasn't. I remember like my one homeboy, like I still love him to death, but it was like he tried to get me to rap over dubstep. I was like, that's not me, but apparently that's what was hot at that point because that's when dubstep was just really making a big impact. He's like, yo, just do it on this. Then it was like he would pick the beats for us to spit on. And I'm like,
this is not gonna
I'm like, yo, I can't do. And then it was once I started like really picking my own stuff and doing my own stuff, it was like people were like, okay, this is what we were waiting for. This is what we want from you. My boy B-Flan, he is like his favorite artist of all time is Nas. I know you know who Nas is. And if you tell me you don't know who Nas is, we're going to have a problem.
I got him as the GOAT, bro.
Okay, word. Okay, so he's your GOAT. All right, I got a question for you after this. So
okay.
He's one out of like 6 people who know me better than I know myself. So anytime that I would do a record that wasn't to his liking, where he knew my style, he'd be like, yo, scrap that. Don't even do that. Like, fuck. I remember one time I had him listen to a record. I was trying some like lyrical, but it was like a Drake sounding song just to try it, just to see what it is. He listened, I swear to God, 5 seconds, shut it off. Yo, fuck that shit. Literally, he was like, yo, do not. He got so mad. We were in a restaurant, and he's bugging out on me. Bugging the fuck out. I'm like, bro, like, relax. It's not that serious. No, fuck that, bro. Fuck Drake. Fuck this. Fuck that. I was like, oh, my God. Okay, all right.
I saw you getting out of character.
It was just, yeah, because he was just like, this isn't you. And even, like, certain artists that I work with, he was mad about because he's like, yo, they're trying to put you in this box, bro. They want you to cater to their shit. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. So I was like, again, he's my best friend. He's never done me wrong. Me and this man we've had fights with each other. I remember one time he was on the phone with me for like 4 hours. He was screaming at me. He was hammered. And I was like, all right, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Hung up the phone. Next day called, yo, my bad, bro. So fucked up last night. I was just in it right now. But so the question, I'm going to actually have for both of you. So what's your top 5 dead or alive?
God.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See, I like asking questions to people like this too. So like I'll start with you first and then we'll go to you. So what's your top 5 dead or alive?
Nas.
Okay.
Biggie. I'm biased. Doom.
Oh, I love Doom. No, that's no fire. Okay.
Doom. Oh.
I know. When you get to the last 2, it's really fucked. Because now you're thinking, you're like, damn, I don't want to put this person because then they're going to think I don't like this person.
Wait, did I say Tupac?
No, you didn't.
So Pac.
Okay, so that's your 4. What's your 5th?
Oh, man.
Yeah, you got me.
I would say
Doom,
Jay.
Jay-Z? Really? Well, no, Dre's not a rap. No, Dre is not a rapper. People write his shit, so let's not get that twisted. Yeah, Dre's a good producer. He's a phenomenal producer, but he's not an MC.
Probably M, actually.
M's in your top 5?
Yeah, he is.
M is not in my top 5. No.
He's 5 for me.
Okay. So what's your top?
So my top 5, it's really what it is. What inspired me? Like,
okay.
So some of the names
you're not gonna like.
Yeah,
this
you're not gonna
Why?
No,
Why are you judging me already off that?
No,
Like,
just letting you know.
No.
So my top one might be like Kanye, honestly, because
why wouldn't I like that?
No, just yeah, and then so probably Kanye. I mean,
wait, hold on, like past Kanye or present Kanye?
Past Kanye.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I was like, all right.
ASAP Rocky is one of my.
ASAP Rocky. Okay.
ASAP Rocky.
I like ASAP Rocky.
I have to throw what?
At 2,
yeah.
Really?
Well, that one's tough. Yeah, probably Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
Wiz Khalifa.
I mean, no, I fuck with Wiz. I like Wiz.
It's a lot of.
But see, you had me thinking like he's gonna say like Lil Yachty or like all that shit. So I'm like, what am I not gonna like?
No. I just.
So
okay.
They're coming in. So
I should ask top 10 then.
I would say Travis Scott.
Okay.
Yeah. Travis
See, all right. See, I like Travis, but I only know really like one song, and I can't remember who's featured. But Pick Up the Phone.
Okay.
That's what Young Thug.
Yeah,
okay, because
I
it's catchy.
Yeah,
I just like sometimes saying it like when I'm high. It's like pick up the phone, but it's catchy. It's funny.
Yeah.
I don't like listen to him religiously like that. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, me thinking like literally I was gonna hate everybody that was on his list.
I shouldn't have said it.
And I would probably say like I have to put in like some real rap like Eminem in there too.
Okay.
Like in terms of rapping, like I just haven't really heard shit like that. You know what I mean?
There's so many that I'm like.
I know it's a lot.
KRS-One,
It's
Kara, you listen to KRS-One?
My brother fucking listen to that shit like non-fucking stop.
All right, then I gotta meet your brother and shake his hand because KRS does not even get the credit that he deserves.
No, he doesn't.
Either. Right. So like, but see, with M is like I can understand certain people when they say like M is in that top 5, but anytime I say M is not in my top 5, he's not even in my top 10. Believe it or not.
Really?
He's not because it's like
why?
It's just. I didn't gravitate him like as like he's a dope lyricist. Like I will not take that away. He's a dope lyricist, but it's like he's not really somebody I listen to religiously. It was like, I'd rather listen to A$AP Rock than listen to M, believe it or not. But it's like my top is, Redman, Craig Mack, Slick Rick, Lloyd Banks, and then my last one. That's where this is where it gets fucked up.
And I just have to say too, like I fuck with all the other rappers, like a lot of rappers too, but just who I'm listening to,
right?
When I need to get in my zone and like that type of thing, that's what I'm putting.
And see, I can't even hate on that. See, that's the thing. It's whoever's inspiring you is whoever's inspiring. That doesn't mean that you're taking everything from them. You're taking bits and pieces of what you like and putting it into your art.
Right, 100%.
And then like, damn, my last one. Fuck.
You still got it. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not letting you get off the hook with this one.
my last one, because I know it. Because again, I'm gonna leave somebody out. Oh, Big Pun.
Okay, yeah.
Big Pun. I have to because Big Pun, again, I'm Puerto Rican too. So it's like I got to give Big Pun his flowers. But see, that's the thing. When I do the top 5, just like what you were doing before, you're like, fuck. I'm like, I don't want to leave this person out, but I don't say this.
Now I want to take back like.
No, but see, that's always a question I like doing. And also, it's like, again, it's your top 5 dead or alive. I'm not telling you name top 5.
Big L, bro, too.
Oh, no. See, Big L, first off, if Big L was still alive, he would outshine M.
He would outshine.
He would outshine M in 2 seconds.
I agree.
Okay, see, when I say that, people get mad.
No, I agree with that.
How you gonna choose Big L over M? Blah, blah,
Big
blah.
L's, no.
It's like
different.
Right, but it's like, but see, people don't really like. They don't understand. Some people don't understand that. It's because when Big L, like, what put you on a Big L?
My brother.
Okay, but like, what body of work, or what song? It can be even a song. Tell me it was the 90s. What was the 97 freestyle?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody go. Ass Beavis, I got nothing but head.
Yeah,
okay, like, see, that's all off his head. That is literally all off the top of his head.
That's nuts.
Exactly. And like M, like, not to take anything away from him, but nowadays is that he's rhyming so goddamn fast that it's like, it just tricks your brain. Like, goddamn. Like when he said he did Rap God in one take. I don't doubt that he did Rap God in one take, but my guy, like, that's not really like plausible. Like there has to be a point in time where you take some breaths. But have you ever watched an interview where he treats his work like a 9 to 5?
No, what is he?
You didn't see that?
No.
M treats his job like a 9 to 5. So he gets up at 8 o'clock in the morning. He gets to the studio at 9 a.m. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, he takes lunch. As soon as 5 o'clock hits, boom, he's out of the studio. he needs that normality in his life because he doesn't have anything else.
Bro, that's so important, I feel like, too. Just
But
to have that shit, though.
But really think about that. You're the biggest artist in the world.
No, it's nuts.
And like the thing that makes me like, because I remember I was watching Akon and he told the story. He was like, when they did Smack That, when they did the single, he was like, he flew to Detroit. He saw M. So the first time he got there was like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He said, "What's up, M?" Blah blah blah. He's like, "Hey." He's like going through the beats and he's like, "All right, it's 5 o'clock." He's like, "Where you going?" He's like, I'm going home, leaving the studio." He's like, "All right, so like what?" He's like, No, I'll see you tomorrow." It took them 3 days to do that record. The reason why, all of a sudden he comes back the next day. 9 o'clock comes around. He's in there. You know, they're doing the shit, the whole thing. Takes lunch. He gets halfway into his verse. Halfway. As soon as you see 5 o'clock hit, go, "All right, I'm out." Shit, You're halfway into the verse. "I'll finish it tomorrow." It's like, yo, you need, like, he needs that normality because he can't go anywhere. There was one thing I thought that was so sad was his daughter's graduation. He had to sit in the gym room with security guards all around and watch her graduate through a screen. He couldn't go on the field and, like, hug her and congratulate her. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing that I never want to happen in my life. Like, I don't really care about the fame, and I'm lying. I care, like, I would love the fortune. Like, fortune would be fine because I could take care of it. But the fame is that I don't want that to be like when I'm eating and I'm with my wife and my kids that I can't like enjoy myself.
You can't just go out to dinner with your family,
right? Yeah. Like you can, and like like everybody wants to be Eminem or like Michael Jackson is another inspiration of mine too, and a lot of people and everybody that says that Michael Jackson touched kids, he didn't touch kids. If I hear somebody say that, I'm gonna punch him. But anyway,
I'm with you, bro.
Well, you're looking at me like you're looking at me like
I'm smiling.
Okay, I know you're smiling, but you're looking at me like I don't know about that.
No.
Well, what's your take on that?
I don't know. I don't know enough information.
You don't know nothing about Michael Jackson?
I think it's
what's my take
bullshit,
on that whole thing? I mean,
yeah, on that whole thing. Like,
I mean, look, if someone asked me if their kid could sleep over my house.
Oh shit! This is what me and my brother had a discussion about. Go ahead.
That's the only thing. Like, I wouldn't let my kid fucking go. First of all,
right.
So it's not even like.
Well, you wouldn't let your kid go there by themselves.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And the majority of the kids that were there were not by themselves, were they?
No. Okay, so Macaulay Culkin was the first person that came out and said, he's like, I slept over his house. He didn't do shit with me. He's like, he slept in a bed with Bubbles, his monkey. He's like, he also smacked the shit out of his monkey. There's a story that Bubbles, his monkey, bit somebody, and Michael Jackson slapped the shit out of him. Slapped the dog shit out of him. 2-pieced him. Then there was another thing where everybody thinks Michael Jackson naturally has that high voice. No, he doesn't. He actually has a deep voice.
Yeah, he never. That was
there's one interview where Chris Tucker's saying, he's like, I was sitting with Michael Jackson, we're chilling. He's like, all of a sudden he rolls up a blunt. He starts smoking. He's like, yo, Chris, you want to hit this? He's just like, the fuck? You smoke weed? Like, what the hell's going on? And then there was another one where he's talking about he loved so he didn't really listen to R&B music. He loved rap. Like, he really loves rap. Are you serious? I swear to God. Michael Jackson, I know, I was blown away when I heard that, too. He loves rap music. He loved 50 Cent's In the Club. He loved that record. So he's like, Chris Tucker was saying, he's like, me and Michael were just sitting there listening to beats, like, boom, 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 boom. Then all of a sudden, he's like, it got crazy because he starts singing the words a little bit. He's like, you see me in the club with a bot. No, don't start saying that. And he starts going, he's like, Chris, I love that song. It's a cold-blooded beat. But it's like, so it's like, even Michael Jackson. I grew up listening to, like, Michael Jackson, Blackstreet. Like, what?
That was pretty damn good.
Oh, the impression. Oh, yeah, bro. I could do impressions like nobody's business. It's not even funny.
That was pretty damn good, bro.
That's also another thing that's really fucked up too. Is like even with acting, like my friends always like when I do impressions and shit. Like always. So like I always do like the Michael Jackson impression or like you ever heard of Jay Pharoah?
Yeah.
Jay Pharoah. He's known for doing impressions of other artists. So I remember when I was a kid, I would always like try to like do what he did sometimes. Like even DMX when he did the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer shit. Did you hear that? Yeah, when he was sitting there, he's like, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, yeah. Come on, had a very shiny nose. What? Like, bro, he like, right. So it's like, even with that shit, it's like, I have a comedy side to myself too. Like, I don't always like just do serious shit.
Yeah. Did you do stand-up ever? Have you thought of that?
I don't know if I could do stand-up because I feel like I'm going to piss off the wrong person. Because I really do. Because I've seen stand-ups where, like, they'll pick somebody out in the crowd. And, like, I remember I saw one where he was just, like, he's looking at him. He's just like, so how old are you? Are you guys married? No. Why? Oh, he's like, your parents probably don't love you. They're dead, right? And he's like, yeah. Oh, and he just, like, looks and he's like,
that's fucked.
All right, well, I guess that show's over.
Yeah.
That's also the other thing. Who's this, the skinny-ass kid from Wild 'N Out? What's his name?
DC.
No, not DC Young Fly. I mean, rest in peace to his wife. Yeah. But no, the skinny fucking white kid. He's got like the dentures or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, like the nerd kid?
Yeah. What's his name?
I don't know his name.
Bro, this kid, okay, can somebody explain to me why like he's like a sex symbol? Like, I'm sorry, he looks like the type of kid that, like, he asks you for an eighth for a front, he doesn't pay you back. That's how he looks to me. I just don't understand what the whole thing is about him.
When he's rapping, though, it's so cringy and shit.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. But, I mean, his stand-ups are hilarious, though. I've watched his stand-up. Because, like, that's also my thing. It's like, you know what's really crazy is the more annoying something is, the more people are going to listen to it. That's like when, what the fuck's his name? The kid that came out with Gucci, whatever the fuck, Gucci Mane, whatever the fuck it was. Gucci Gang or whatever it was. Sorry. Little prick. So it's like, but like when you hear that, like even though you hate it, it stays stuck in your head. Yeah. So I think that's why most artists nowadays they do that because they know that if it's annoying enough, that they're gonna want to listen to it.
And it's also the labels that like want that shit too because it's
easy money.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like
I think also part of this.
Well, it's also like industry plans.
Yeah.
Like they just like I remember there was this one kid I researched and he didn't put out a body of music and the label gave him $4 million.
Yeah.
He didn't put out one song.
That's and how long?
This was what was it? He didn't put any music out and he got signed to the label. He was on that for
kind of up now or
no? He has no music out. He got signed. He got $4 million for doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's also another thing with, I'm sorry, I talk a lot. It's like,
this is great.
So even with like, when artists, when they get their advance, like if you're an artist, cause like I know we were talking before, you make beats. So like somebody gives you an advancement, they give you $2 million, $3 million. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that money?
Well, so there's a bunch of things you can do.
We've thought a lot about
that's why I like asking questions too. Yeah. So like what would you do with that money?
I'm not spending a fucking...
Yeah, because you got to recoup it, one.
Okay. Yeah. But you have that money, but what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to invest that shit.
What are you going to invest in?
Half of myself.
Okay.
And assets.
Okay. And then what assets would you use? Okay, you have a business now. You put money into the business, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
But logically, when you get that money, do you have the ability to turn that $2 million into $5 million? Do you believe that you can make that money?
For sure.
Okay. Most people, I'm going to go buy my mama a house.
Exactly.
I'm going to go buy this car. I'm going to go spend money on this chain. I'm going to go do this. But see, you guys are already way ahead of it. You just said, I'm going to invest in myself. Yeah. Now, the other thing you can do, let's say you get a $2 million advance, right? You can actually go to the bank and you can get another $2 million loan on top of that.
Yeah.
Now you have that loan and you still have the $2 million that they gave you. You put that to the side, you use the loan. Now if you use that loan, you recuperate another $2 million. Now how much do you have?
You got double.
Now if they try to fuck you, you owe us this amount of money. No, don't.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Yeah. And also the other thing is that most people when they sign album deals, like they don't look at the contract and be like, okay, they think, I'm just gotta do one album. No, the label that they want you to do like 4 albums. You owe them 4 albums. And if you don't give them that 4 albums, you're fucked.
You're shelved.
Not even shelved. You gotta figure out a way to pay that back.
Yeah, you're fucked.
And it's like, damn, like bro, like how am I gonna do that? Yeah. Like,
because they're gonna take a cut of everything you do.
Of course. It's like they're booking your shows, they're booking your tour dates, they're booking that whole shit. Like being a star of an artist doesn't mean that you're struggling. Like, I believe, like, if you don't struggle, then you don't really know what it is. I had somebody actually the other day, and I actually didn't get mad at this. They told me that when I was talking about depression and, like, mental health and everything, I was like, dude was like, yeah, depression to me is like a luxury. And I was like, what do you mean depression is like a luxury? He's like, think about this. He's like, if you got time to sit down and really think about what's going on in your life, then you're like, obviously you're upset about it, but you have that time to think. He's like, me, I don't have time to do that.
A lot of people don't have the time.
If I sit there and I'm depressed, I got to get money. I got to figure out a way to feed myself. I got to figure out a way to do this, that, the third. And I was like, damn, okay. Like, yeah, that makes sense to me because if you could sit down and really deal with your problems, then, yeah, it's kind of a luxury because you take time.
You have the time.
Yeah, to actually reset your brain and actually figure things out. And I like I've said before, I'm like, I've been depressed my whole life, but the way my outlet was music. Yeah. So I had that ability of that outlet. Some people don't have that outlet. It's like when people say they can't draw. Can you draw a stick figure? Yeah. You can draw. Yeah. Like, don't tell me you can't draw. If you can draw a stick figure. Like, it's that simple.
Yeah.
And it's like, even with, like you produce. Mm-hmm. So it's like, has anybody ever, like, sat there and, like, you're making the beat and then all of a sudden, like, yo, this is it. It's done. Has anyone ever done that to you?
Like stop?
Yeah, just stopped you. They like
I've
what
probably
they
done it.
They're like, oh, you've done
I'd
that?
probably be like, yo, that's it. You're done.
Okay. Now, does that irk you when people do that?
Not him.
No, not him. But like,
if it's someone,
this is your man's. That's different.
Yeah, if it's like a client or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be respectful, but yeah, it would irk me out.
But like if somebody does that, even if it's a client, you don't tell them like, yo, no, I think it could be better.
Oh no, I'll explain like, no, listen, this is what I'm about to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're the one behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like when people nowadays is like, I hate when they say like, oh, you rap, spit something, pay me. What? Why am I gonna pay you, bro? I got literally 20. I've been rapping for 20 years. 20 fucking years. That is insane.
That is insane.
That's insane.
That I know it's insane, but it's like now that I think about it, I'm like, fuck, I'm old. But it's like, yeah, it's
but
like
you're not though. Yeah.
I mean, I'm 33. Like I'm not old. Like I don't look old. That's only the Puerto Rican in me. That's because I look young. But it's like I hate when people do that. It's like, yo, rap then. Yeah. Why do I gotta rap for you? Like, you're not paying me. You're not keeping my lights on. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Like, fuck out of here. And it's like, even like, so I did, what was it? Like, my homeboys at Studio 152, Kotz and Louis 152. Dope fucking
heard
producer.
a lot about them.
Kotz is a dope producer.
Yeah, I heard about Kotz.
It was myself, MX, and Johnny Rockets, which is Kotz's brother. And we did a song called Drowning. And the thing with me was that it was a very, like, Hollywood Undead meets like Linkin Park kind of joint, and I had to rewrite that verse like 3 times just for myself because I was like, all right, I need to like really get into this mindset, and like I even showed them like how I did it. I would write down what I wanted to talk about first. I would make it like topic choices, and then once I did that, then I knew where I was going. And I remember the one lyric that Louis and Kotz told me, he was sitting there mixing my vocals, and it was one was what was it? I just want to get high and put my dick in a blonde. So he goes, he's like, did he say a blunt or a blonde? And Kotz looks at him, stops the record. He's like, blunt. And then he puts it back on. Louis another MC who's fucking talented out of his freaking face. And I tell him to it all the time. But he'll recite my lyrics all the time. Yeah. And like give me props. I'm like, yo, Louis, like, you gotta do this shit. Yeah, but it's like artists like that I respect because it's like, yo, you're showing me props like more than I show myself props. But it's even like when I put into the verse where I was like, I ain't been sober my whole life. Emptiness inside because I sold my soul twice. And it's just defying that saying like, okay, the devil already has my soul. I sold my soul to this motherfucker. And then another line that people were really taking back is, I love punk rock music too. I love punk rock music. 3 Days Grace, Green Day. I met the lead singer of Green Day when I was 12 years old at Madison Square Garden. And I told him he inspired me. Yeah. And he was like, what do you do? I'm like, I rap. He's like, what? Yeah. He's like, wait, you rap? Like, and I'm a kid at this point, so I'm just like, yeah, like I just started. He's just like, but I inspired you. Like, he was really like taken back by it. The fact that it's like, I inspired you as an artist, but you rap. Yeah. But even 3 Days Grace, I threw that into the rap as well. I'm like, couldn't change my ways with 3 Days Grace. I make the same mistakes, killer brainwaves. And everyone's just like, yo, like what? Like, again, back to that, it's just like, I'm a lyrical wordsmith. Yeah. Like, I need those punchlines to hit. Like how Lloyd Banks is dubbed the punchline king. That is all I've ever wanted to be. Just punchline after punchline. It just hits you every time.
Every fucking time.
Every fucking time, bro.
I would say you're fucking, I mean, dude, even when we saw you perform too, like you were saying too, it's like it's just different energy in a way.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like not to take away from the artists that were there, but not for nothing, all those artists sound the same. And I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm just saying from my perspective, it's like everybody's jocking the drill style. Doing that, lucid type of music and everything. So when we were at there, I wasn't originally going to perform. I wasn't because I was just like, what, like they're not paying me, like whatever. But once I started hearing everybody's music pretty much sounding the same, I was like, fuck it. I need some I was like, yeah, I need some refreshing. So that's when I did the All I Need joint. I did the Alpha Action verse. I think I did one more, but I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, that's when I watched the interview and you were like, when you take it, like, yo, he can rap. I literally paused it. I was with my homeboy. I'm like, yo, I like this guy. I'm like, he literally was sitting there listening to me.
That's the thing with him. Like, he really, like, if rap, like, he knows, like, rap. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, you can really pick out certain shit.
Like, if you make my hair stand up type shit, like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the thing I was noticing too, was when I was performing, like everybody was like nodding their head. They were like really getting into it because, again, it's not the same style.
Right, it's something else. Like,
right.
Different.
And that was my whole thing behind it. I was just like, yo, I'm going to give you something that, you know, you guys have not heard, because clearly for the last hour we've been hearing the same generic shit.
Yeah.
The drill is like too much.
And yo, it's not, and drill, yo, I like drill.
It's
I
great,
really do. It's great.
Like, but it's just the same, like you're saying.
Right. It's just like, again, I'm not trying to hate on it. It's just like, I don't like it when people do the same exact shit all the time. It's like, you have like the Godfathers, which is like, again, Pop Smoke is a godfather of Brooklyn drill. He made it known for that. He was just like, yo, like, this is what it is. But it's like, again, like, when people will sit there and tell me, like, oh, this artist inspired me, this artist inspired me, I do not care. It was like when you said, like, oh, his top 5 I'm not going to like. I can't take that away from him, because if that's what he's learned from, that's what he's learned from. Right. I can't hate somebody who's saying, oh, Pop Smoke got me into rapping. Okay, I can't hate that. It's like, but always study the people that came before you. The people that inspired them, study them. Like, you can't get into a game without studying the founding fathers of it. Like, I had somebody who told me, you ever see Scary Movie 2?
Yeah.
The movie? Remember when he's like, oh, that's Master Kane. This is this Kane. Who's that? That's Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
One of my friends, literally one of my friends who I just became friends with like a year or two ago, when I said that, he was just like, yo, I love Big Daddy Kane. I'm like, who is he? He's like, I don't know. I was like, what do you mean? How do you know that? He's like, oh, I heard his name in that movie. I was just like,
this is where you know him from?
I was like, yo, for real? Like, this is where you know him from? He's like, yo, shout out to Joey. Joey, I love you, dude. But it's like, yo, like, dead ass, it's like, that's where you know him from? Yeah. But that, again, do your history. That's the only thing I ever asked from somebody. Do your history. Make sure you know who's the founding fathers of it, and then I can really respect you as an artist.
Relate as well, too.
I'm going to get you to write a verse. Right. I'm gonna get that out of you. Trust me.
All right, bet.
I'll make a deal with you. I'll do a free verse on a beat if you rap though.
Oh,
I will literally give you a free, but you have to spit on it. You do not have to release it. You can hold on to it, whatever you want. You'll do it?
Yeah.
You swear?
All right, let's get it.
Everybody.
Shake on
Bro,
it.
Everybody,
Here.
all right, bet. All right, bet.
Right.
Because I know for a fact, I know you got something up your sleeve. I know you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you're gonna say you don't, but I know you do. And listen, you can take your time with it. It's fine. I'm not like I said, you could take like a month, 2 months, whatever. But just, I'm gonna send you my verse. You're gonna listen to it. You're going to write. I'm going to force you to write that verse.
I'm with you, bro.
And if I don't hear that you wrote it and recorded it within like 3, I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna be like, yo, Rob, yo, what's up, man? What's going on, bro?
No, please do.
You owe me a verse. What's up?
Yeah,
bro. Because, like, again, bro, it's like I'm not a stiff. Like, I'm not gonna be an asshole. And plus, when I see talent, like, again, like if you make beats or you rap, I want to work with people that are dope. I have not heard you rap, but the simple fact is that, again, you know the founding fathers. You have respect. You had an older brother who was feeding you music, so I know you have that ability. And the fact that you said that you don't like your voice, I already know you're dope.
You asked him that.
Yeah, I did, and I'm just like, yo, like, you can rap.
You didn't like yours, you said too, right? You don't like yours, you said.
I don't. Yeah, but that's a difference, though. Is that the difference between it is that I've become comfortable enough that I can keep saying that to myself. You know you're dope, but you're more comfortable being a producer. You like being a behind the scenes guy.
Because this is what happened, yo. When we first started, like, all of this shit, it was rapping, right? And that's like kind of what got us into making beats, to rap on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it really stemmed from.
Well, because think about that. When you're making your own beats and you're rapping on your own beats, you know the tempo's already in your head. Yeah. The whole structure, everything's already in your head. So when you do that, you're literally creating something from nothing.
And we didn't really know like about YouTube beats and shit.
No
like,
idea.
So we were like on BeatStars where I'm not buying a beat. What the fuck is this?
Right.
Like, so we're like, we gotta make them.
But it's even like, even with that, it's like, sometimes I'll go on BeatStar and I'll hear a beat that sounds dope, and I'll be like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll buy this. Maybe I'll see what it's up, and I'll save it. But 9 times out of 10, I like working. Yeah, I like working with somebody that's coming up.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, when I said, I was just like, I know you rap. And then when he sold you out, I was just like, yeah, no, he's written before. I'm like, oh, you right?
Both of these motherfuckers.
Because you're just like, again, you're just like, even with Kotz does not write. He just produces. But so that Alpha Action joint, I actually have a part 2. It's called Den of Thieves. So it's Alpha Action part 2.
Lit name.
I got him to rap, And I got Louis to do it too, but Louis already an artist. I literally had to fight tooth and nail to get this guy to do it because I knew he was dope. And when I heard it, I have a video reaction of it. He's just spitting. I'm like, yo, why don't you keep doing it? She's like, I like doing beats. I like producing. Yeah. Fuck that. You gave me a verse. Now do this. But it kind of worked in my favor because I gave him a verse. So I was like on the Drowning record. And then I was like, yo, like, do Den of Thieves. Yo, when he heard that beat, he was just like, yo, that beat is nasty. And that's why but the thing was like, when you feel that like sometimes your instinct will kick in, you're just like, yeah, this is it. Like, like this is a hit. And sometimes even the ones you're like, I don't really know if that's a hit, it ends up being a hit. Always go with that gut feeling. If you know that joint is dope, then fucking do it. Put it out. And that, because again, think about it this way: music's the closest thing to immortality.
Holy shit.
Your voice will never die.
Holy shit.
That's fucking crazy.
Right? That fucks with your head, right?
Yeah. That does fuck with my head.
Because think about it, and also that's the closest thing we have to time traveling. Because when you listen to a joint that you listened to when you were younger, it brings you back to that time. It brings you the smell. Like if you it's fall weather, you smell the fall leaves. You start thinking about.
See, that's part of the reason with my top. Because when I hear those shits, it brings me back to a specific time.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And it's like inspires you. So dude, it's fucking crazy.
That's why when I asked you when you were like, oh yeah, I fuck with old school Kanye. New school Kanye, he's fucked up. Yeah. He's way beyond fucked. When he started talking about the whole shit on the podcast and all that, I was like, dude,
we gotta wrap this up. One more question. If you had do you keep up with the music now?
Of course.
Yeah. So let's say from 2015 to now, who do you think is like at the top of the game right now?
Who I personally think is
like who's like your favorite if you had to pick from like 2015 to now?
Just one person?
Yeah.
Cole.
Okay.
J. Cole.
Wow. Okay.
Cole. The only reason I say Cole though is because Cole, I have every album he's ever done from the warm up to all the way till now. So it's like 2015 Forest Hill Drive was like one of my favorite albums, but Born Sin is also another one of my favorite albums. But see, the thing with him is that like he can be on like beats like that are like commercially dope nowadays and still make a dope ass song.
That's what I was saying like earlier in the interview. Like artists like that can go on these new beats but still fucking kill it.
Like For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah.
All those beats are all like not what he used to rap. And I love like Neighbors is my favorite one.
Mm-hmm. So like would you call him an MC?
Of course, of course he's
true
an MC.
right?
He's a true MC.
Hell yeah.
I would never, if I ever met J. Cole, I wouldn't even call him a rapper. I would never call an MC a rapper. I would never do that because an MC, again, rap is what they do.
Right.
An MC is that title.
So much more.
Yeah, it's just like, it means so much more. And it's like when I tell kids that, they're just like, what's an MC? I'm like, damn, you guys really fucked up.
Want to wrap it up?
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you for coming, man.
Of course, man.
You got to come back.
Yeah, I'll be back here soon.
Well, you're going to be back because you're going to be on my ass about it.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm getting the verse out of you. Trust me, I'm getting the verse out of you. And if you don't pick up your phone, I know where you're at. You do realize, like it says sink or swim.
Close, right?
Yeah, but it says sink or swim outside. Like there's no hiding it. Like I don't have his number, but I'll get it today. So I'll just be like, yo, like what's going on with Rob, bro? Where's he at? Like I know he's not at this girl's house. And if he had a chick's house, I'm not gonna do it. Be like, yo, listen, I know Rob just got done fucking with you, but like, he need to come out.
He needs to spit the verse right now.
Yeah, right. He needs to get in the booth.
Man, it's been an honor, man. Seriously. True barsmith, a wordsmith, Jem Alexander. Appreciate you, my guy.
Appreciate you guys, man.
This has been another episode of the Aqua Lounge Podcast. Till next time, peace.